Welcome to Sex, Lies, and Love podcast. I'm so glad you're here. I have a very special podcast tonight. I am sharing a conversation with a man that I had around the work that I do, around the support that I give, and his perspective on it, and the healing journey for men that often does not get talked about. I'm going to share clips of things that he said, and I want you to listen and see what you think. Here we go. Here he is.
You're mentioning the power of touch, and I completely agree with you, because when it comes to men in their day-to-day life, like, they are, in some cases, they're programmed to be afraid of touching others because it's a professional no-no. So you go through this indoctrination in the workplace around effectively sexual harassment. And I know that it can be, you can over-rotate on that training to not touch anyone out of fear of being accused of harassment or being canceled or any of these sorts of things. And so, when you get into a space where there is trust and there is safety and consent, etc., and the touch arrives to the man, especially if he's single, it is a very delicate, intimate process in the beginning of just allowing any sort of self-protection that he's formed, maybe out of trauma, maybe out of social programming, that has led to this sort of initial, I'm being touched. Am I allowed to be touched? Is this person going to accuse me of something? I mean, that fear is very real.
What else can you share?
So I really think that being on the table can be such a healing experience, because it is a place and a permission to be touched. Now add on top of it, and that's like massage and acupuncture, stuff like that. Add on top of it the sexual nature, and it's actually just releasing all shame, fear, guilt, trauma from the past, of allowing every corner of your body to be touched. And to your point, figure out exactly what turns you on and what doesn't, and where there's some sort of lingering, shall we say, psychosomatic resistance in the body. You know what I mean? So like, you have this, the body stores trauma. So, for example, if you were to touch a man's balls and he retracts from that, there's a psychosomatic perspective on that, which is, is this just due to lack of touch, lack of foreplay, lack of, comfort? Is there fear? Did something happen in the past? Like, we don't know. But those are the sorts of things that come through. And it's so powerful, so powerful to provide that space so that men can be free sexual beings.
What did you think about that? Let's hear more.
So that you're not walking around trying to run from any shame that was installed from the outside or from previous relationships, particularly traumatic relationships, or something like that. Like that's where it can grow into this whole complex, into this whole problem. Is one of my healing aspects. I had a former partner who just would, sit on me, and it could be very painful for me because of the way that she had so I would say carelessly, had put herself on me, and I would bottom out in her cervix, and it would hurt because it would bend my cock. Like that's something that I have talked about with other men because I've gone through this journey. And so in that process of understanding, wow, like this is wonderful and this was painful and this was shameful because I thought that I had done something wrong. I thought that, that something had been done wrong to me, like that was a factor, right? Like these things just evolve into entire complexes, and I had to go through an entire process to learn to trust myself again.
Trust. Trusting ourselves. Oh, that is the training in life, in my perspective. The way I have learned to trust myself required me first to face so much shame and guilt because I used to trust that, the shitty feelings. I leaned into the shitty feelings and I trusted them. I normalized that. And so have a lot of other people. But there's no way out of that without facing it, walking into the dark. It's dark and scary in there. You don't have to do it alone. You don't have to go through the pain and suffering to the extremes that some of us have, because we're openly discussing it, talking about it, and offering you our time to help support you. That's why you want to take action. Go to my website, deardarkness.com, and ask for support. And I'll respond, give you a 10-minute discovery call. You'll know if you want to keep talking. And you'll know that you did a good job by taking that step. I appreciate and respect you for taking this time to listen to both me and this lovely man who's given of his time and shared so openly about himself for you to grow and face your own fears as well. Nothing more sexy than an authentic man. Authenticity is the sexiest thing around.
Right? Like, and so these are like the silent journeys that men face in not just their sexual life in the bedroom or outside it, but also in their own journey to becoming confident, mature, and being clear as to who they are in the present moment and not letting anything from the past control that present moment. So again, I just am so damn grateful for the work that you do with men, because again, if I had come across someone with your offering 15, 20 years ago, my whole life would be different.
Thank you for those words. I appreciate them. Dear Darkness is allowing you to come on in here where it's dark, and face your fears of whatever they are. But shame and guilt is definitely here in the dark. I'll hold your hand.